It's time again to tell a story for as long as the sands fall. Now, once upon a time, there was a dragon who, rather than scales, was covered in a very thick coat of fur. Alas, this was not a particularly large dragon, so more often than not he was mistaken as a bear. However, any that sought to have his bear pelt or to gain that delicacy of the East on the bear's paw would soon find enough that normally bears do not breathe fire. So, bear this fellow was not. As other dragons, he had his own hoard of gems and coins and various other treasures. But no butterflies. But then, butterflies is not a usual treasure for dragons to collect. One day, lounging about upon his hoard, this furred, bear-like dragon did wonder to himself that perhaps it was time that he kidnapped a princess. He had heard that they were much trouble, but he had never acquired a living treasure like a princess before. So off he loped from his cave. This would be a good time to mention that our poor unfortunate dragon, covered in fur, did not have wings either. It was not an easy youth that this dragon had. So, down he went loping through the forests and through the mountains to the lands of humans where there was knights and princesses. Well, maybe not quite a plenty, but he soon enough found himself a nice tall tower. And from that tower spilt golden hair, as beautiful as the coins that the dragon held in his hoard. So he figured this would be well enough to take into his hoard too. Now, not having wings, he had need to fly. He could not fly, so he climbed up the tower. He didn't climb up on the hair, of course, because, well, he didn't want to damage it. And besides, although he was surpassing strange dragon, his claws were talon-like enough and sharp enough for climbing. He made short work of getting up the tower, and there was a beautiful princess whose long hair had extended all the way out the window. Naturally enough, she did scream very loudly at the sight of this seemingly giant bear squeezing himself through the window. The dragon, for his part, did tell her to shut her mouth as the screaming was giving him a headache. The princess did have some wit, and so she quickly went quiet. In short order, the dragon bundled her up, rolled her in her hair, and took her back to his hoard. The witch that had held her never found her again. And as for the dragon and the princess, well, they lived happily ever after, and had perhaps some of the most disgusting children you might have ever seen. And that was how it went.